In this video, we will be looking at the one-page navigation. It's a one-page element that comes included with the Octomono bundle. It comes included with your one-time fee, so it will become available in your dashboard and to be used on your page. So what does the one-page navigation do? It just converts your default standard Weebly navigation and will change it with a one-page navigation. So your logo will remain the same and all of the elements will change according to how you want it to be. So let's have a look at the live page, for example. We have the banner here. Then we have in the About Us section, a product section, a Get in Touch section, and maybe a call out section. And now we're going to look on how we can create this into a one-page navigation where we can link to each section on the page. So just start by dropping the element on the page here, in the banner for example, access the dashboard, and then we will scroll down to the structure elements, and you can see here that it has an element called one-page menu. So by default you can see that the element is saying here at the top that our page has 5 Weebly sections. So when we look at it, it includes the banner as well. So it is section 1, 2, 3, 4, and our 5th section. Footer does not come included. So where are we going to start? Well, you can see here that the styles for navigation items will be inherited from the Weebly menu. So all of the styles, it doesn't matter how you put it, they will inherit those styles, which is the color, the text format, the font family, and so on. So this is just to manage here our navigation items, where we can set the title of our navigation item. Say we want to link it to a specific section on our page, or maybe we want to link it to a page itself, and then it's like an external link. So all you have to do is add the URL in it. So maybe you want to link to another page on your website, maybe a blog page or whatever, then you just include the page here. So let's have a quick look at the settings on the left. So it is called section naming, So you can see that it's called section 01. So maybe you want to add a custom name for it. Section 0, when using a banner, is always going to be the first one. So let's start. For example, as we said, we have 5 sections, including the banner, but we're not going to be linking to that section. So let's start with 4 navigation item. And our first one should be linking to this About section. So first let's click on the settings, and then we add a navigation name, and we'll call this About. Now you have the option, as you can see here, where it says which section you want to link to. We'll set that to 0. But before actually linking it to 0, we will giving it a custom name, so it's more clear for us as well. And we call it About Us, for example. And then we'll specify the About, that it needs to link to the About Us, just like that. Now for the next one, we said our section was a gallery, so we will call it maybe Portfolio. And then also for this one here, oh, we did set it wrong. This is my confusion, because obviously section 0 is the banner, so we need to call this About Us, and we will just leave this empty. This is not important for us now, but we will say that section 2 was our gallery. So in this case, or portfolio, you can name them whatever you want. We want to link to the gallery, and now we want to make sure when we make a change that our items are linked correctly, but it still remains remains correctly linked. So for our third item, we had, I believe, a contact. Yes. So we can call this, for example, contact section. You can call it like this. You can call it contact us or other, and then the navigation item, you can give it the name as you want as well. Do know that when I type in here, in this case, for example, I type all lower caps, and in this one it's capitalized. But even if you were to set contact This is not going to reflect the way it is previewed here on the page. This is just an example for you to see where on the menu the navigation item will be located. But as said before, the style will be inherited from your Weebly theme. So next we will set the link for this one. We didn't include we included already, so we call it contact section just to link to this page. And then for our last item, we'll call this maybe a get started or something like that. Get started. And then in navigation, get started as a name could work. And then we need to make sure to link it to this one as well, just like that. So now when we save and go back to our Weebly editor, our menu should be replaced here at the top. With the menu, as you can see from our sections, you can also see those sections named here at the left top. About us was this section, the gallery, the contact section, and then the get started section. So now let's have a look at the live page as well about how this links. Going to the top and refreshing. You see our menu here, and when clicking on the About, it will go to the About section. Portfolio to the Portfolio section, Contact Us, and the Get Started section. Just like that. That's how easy it can be done. I said before as well, you can include in external links, of course. So all you have to do is we'll add a new one, and we'll call it external, for example. And we're not going to link this to a section, so switch this off, and we're just going to add a page, for example, just like that. Save it. Now you can see we have an extra menu item here. Wait till it is published. Go to our live page, refresh. You can see we have our external link that would take us to the link we included, obviously. And also, when you click on the links itself, they keep working, and we have just an additional link. So there's one more item we can look at here. So my advice is to create your page how you want it, with all the sections you need in it, and then add the menu and link to all those sections accordingly. You can move these items on the menu around, but you cannot move section names around. So let me explain. So let's say you want to add a new section, and we want to add a new section here between the banner and our first About Us section. So we use the section element, include it here, and then we will add maybe featured, maybe another call-out section just like that. So now we will save this, and we have our new section. But now you can see that everything moved up one space. So this is now our About Us, the gallery, the contact section, and so on. So you would have to make those changes in the menu. Again, accessing the dashboard. Like this, and then we need to make sure that this one is linked to the About Us, but it is linked to the About Us. The issue is actually our section 1 is now the callout section. So in this section here, for example, which would be our first one, is our Get Started one. This was our contact section. This is the gallery section. And the About Us section, and this is actually our new section we just added. So let's call this new section, and then we want to add a navigation item, and we want to link to that. Let's just call this new, and then the item we want to link it to is to the new section. And then maybe, as said before, you want to move those items around because now it is becoming our first section, which goes above the About. Then you can just move this in your navigation item. So now when we click Save, all of our navigation items should be linking accordingly, and our page names should be correct. So now this is the new section, the About Us, gallery, and so on. So So let's have a look at the live page, if everything is linking correctly. Refresh the page. And now you can see we have a new one. And when we click on new one, it's going to that new section, about, to the about, portfolio, contact, and get started. So all of those things are working again as it should. So a last thing to look at is, in this, for example, it's not going to be visible, but let's say, for example, you have a large fixed navigation bar. So in this case, for example, and it's so large that when you click on it, it overlaps part of your content of that section. Well, what you can do there to prevent this is modify the offset. So the offset here should advisedly be set to the height of your navigation bar. It doesn't necessarily have to be, but if you do this and set this to the height of the navigation bar, then you can be sure that no content will be overlapped by our menu, our fixed menu. And then there's two options to set this both for desktop and mobile menus, because many times Weebly mobile menu is different in height than the desktop menu when being fixed. And the last setting we have here is the media query, the value of a screen size you need to put here in pixels when the mobile menu is being activated. So let me give you an example of that on our page. Going to the page like that. When you don't know how to use it, you can still guess more or less the height, of course. But in our case, we have a menu height of 51 pixels for a mobile menu. So to have this stop right above the section, you could set this to 51. And if we were to make this larger, so that is our desktop menu, we're going to have a look at that height as well. Just here, you can see it's 61, so it's a little bit taller. So this one here, we would set that to 61 pixels. You can go look around in your CSS or whatever for where to find that media query when one menu changes to the other one, or you can here use dev tools like I'm doing right here in Chrome, and then just resize your browser and you can see the pixels here. So if we were to set this to 900, for example, a size of 100, then you would see that our mobile menu is actually already triggered. So when setting it larger, you can see that it's being triggered at, what is that, 1025 maybe, or 1025, that is 1024. So to be correctly with our menu here, we would need to set this to 1024. Again, these are all optional. The menu will work nice, and there should, in the majority of examples, not be any issue of having to modify all of this. But this is just an additional advanced option so that your menu works exactly the way you want it to. So now when we save these settings and publish, so now when going to the menu, we need to leave this at 100 obviously. So here our menu will keep working, and it will just stop. When I scroll up softly, you can see that it's in the other section. Maybe you can see it better in this one. So now when I scroll up like 1 pixel, it should be already showing the contact section. You can see that darker line of that background image here. So this is the way it works, and it works the same way obviously if you would resize this. And now we have our menu, and we'll go to contact. So we're in this. So now when we scroll up, we should just see after 1 pixel the white line. So this is an advanced option. You can play around with it. If you're not sure how to do this, you can do a little guesswork, but as said before, in most cases it will just work fine. This is just something to consider when you have overlapping content of a section you are linking to. I hope this helps, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.